Doing a little bit of thinking the other day. Yeah. Look at everybody. They're like, "What? You were doing some thinking? What were you? What were you thinking? Doing some thinking? You think? You think? You think? Wow." That's another thing, though. Whenever we, as Americans, want to be as specific as possible, we're never are. It's never the universal. We give the exact time. We're like, "Oh, soon," or the other day, right? Like your buddy could be hanging off a cliff. Hey man, hey, when you gonna be there? When you gonna be here? I'm hanging off a cliff. Soon, right? Or hey, the other day I had a flat. You mean yesterday? 'Cause yesterday you had a flat. You called me. Yeah. But I was doing some thinking. Yesterday, 9:01 a.m. Just in case you were wondering, I was putting math together. I was doing some math. Putting two and two together. I think I even had like a conclusion at the end. So now I've turned it into like a science project, right? I had a hypothesis. Maybe women have a drinking problem. Conclusion: you do. You have a drinking problem because it's in your DNA of communication. It's not your fault. It's not. It's not. You hear something that you have maybe drinking before, and then it makes you want to drink, right? Like your boyfriend takes you out to the restaurant, and the doorman opens up the door and he says, "How do you do?" And then now all you want to drink is Malibu, like in a tall glass, and you want like the little ice chunks because girls like to chew on the ice chunks. That's what they're all about, right? For a guy, we're just like, wow, the door got open for us. I feel good about that. That's a good feeling, right? Go to like a birthday party and mom's playing with her kid or baby and says, "Gotcha." And the only thing you're thinking is, vodka? Vodka? Because I heard vodka, you said vodka. And she says, "No, I said gotcha." And she said, "Well, do you have some vodka now? Because now I'd like some vodka." Right? It's like a 3-year-old's birthday party and all you're worried about is the vodka. Ridiculous. Then it makes me think like, oh, that's why there's so many Mexicans in Pueblo because there's so many people named Jose, right? They hear Jose, they're like Jose Cuervo. Jose Cuervo, I need some Jose Cuervo. No, you don't need Jose. No, I need a shot of Jose Cuervo. No, what you need is a shot of Depo. You need a shot of Depo. You have a litter of children. You're done. You're done. Okay, you are done. You're done. And if you're not, you need to be done. Your body's done, right? It's crazy. But let's get away from the women and the drinking problem. That's obviously not even an issue to them. They don't know it's an issue, and then now I've brought all these things up. Now they think it's maybe an issue. It's drinking is a human problem. Women are just more prone to being human, right? But whatever. I want y'all to know I love my mom. I love her to death. Like, best friend of mine, real good friend of mine. She's been there for me since, what's it been, like birth? Yeah, birth. She's been there since the beginning. The beginning, man. It's a long time to be there for somebody. I'm 24 years old, so that's like, if I put that in perspective, that's almost a quarter of my life. We get 4 of them. I'm almost through 1 of them. That's a long time. That's a long time. When I was a baby, I'd fall. She'd just give me my bottle and pick me right up. No big deal. Now I fall. I still have the bottle, and I'm just drunk off my ass. She'd pick me up, no problem. Now it's like a torn rotator cuff. Maybe an ACL tear, a back rupture. I don't know. But she's at an age she's like really really fragile. But nonetheless, I love my mom. I love my mom a lot. Made me start thinking though. Who doesn't love their mom? Who? Putting it together. It's crazy. She brings you to this beautiful, wonderful, amazing place. You don't love your mom? Yeah, that's you don't love your. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. You don't love your mom. That's like you're crazy. You're crazy. You don't love your mom. That's crazy, right? Start thinking though. Well, maybe there's some people that don't love their mom. Maybe some of them. One of them probably terrorists. Terrorists probably despise their mothers, right? Like if you're part of the Bin Laden family, what's expected of you, right? You get a vest for Christmas, what's gonna happen. Hey son, go run to that group of people here. I got you a new vest for Christmas. And he's like, Akamatamad, he got the same vest. He didn't come back. He didn't, yeah. Akamatamad knows how to do what Akamatamad's told. And you're like, Mom, I hate you. I could see that. Maybe a terrorist hates your mom then. right? She could have aborted you, but she needed you. You were part of a defense strategy, right? Or maybe like a midget. Like if you're a midget, I'd hate my mom. First question I'm asking my mom, hey, why didn't you just swallow me? I couldn't have been that big of a load. You could have done us all a favor here. That would be followed by, hey, mom, you've made my life a living hell. I can't reach anything. I need a stool to get anything I need. You know, like you need water. You don't have a stool. Guess who's not getting any water today? You. That's you. You're not getting any water today. It's probably really expensive to be a little person too. Like you go to buy a house, you got to factor in a cost of redoing everything. Everything has to be redone to like a doll size. Like a doll size would be what you need. You know, to us, it's like a doll playhouse. I'm in there like, yee, this is fun. Woohoo, everything works. It's crazy. This is a big dollhouse. This is like their real life. This is how they live. This is their real actual life. This is like, you know, it's pretty crazy. Like if you're buying a house, that sales guy have to be down to the metric unit for anything he explains. He's like, oh yeah, we got a 3 foot, 2.5, 1 inch millimeter toilet. Is that going to be okay? No, it's not. What do you want me and my family to do? Run and jump every time we have to go? This is ridiculous. No, it's not going to work. Right? Sees like a counter. Got some really excellent counter space in here. Really? Because I can't see anything. Right? I can't see anything. Right? I always get scared when I see a midget person getting into a vehicle too. Like I'm always hoping that he got, he needs all the customization done. Legally I know that's like a requirement, but still I'm like in my head thinking, is he going to be able to hit the brake or, what's going on with that? I don't want him to slam into me. If he slams into me, I'm not going to admit that to my friends, right? Like I'm in the hospital and they're like, oh my God, Casey, what happened? I'm not going to say, a midget, he couldn't hit the brake. He couldn't reach it. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to admit that. I'm going to be like, oh my God, Casey, what happened? I'm going to say, hey, a semi came out of nowhere. I'm lucky to be alive. This semi was huge. As you can see, it's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage, Like if it was by a midget, they're like, oh my God, he did this much damage? Yeah, the little guy did this much damage. No, I'm not going to admit that. I'm just not, I'm going to stay like, they say, hey, 2-3 car lengths. I'm like 8. I'm like 8 car lengths behind. It gives me time to maneuver. If he decides he doesn't know what's going on or can't reach the brake, it gives me an opportunity to, get around that situation. So I stay like 8 car lengths. A little crazy man in there. So I'm like hoping he's got everything, taken care of. Tell you what. And here's one thing. I don't know who's naming products, but whoever got the opportunity to name cotton candy, wow, they did a good job. They did a real good job. Like they were in a meeting, they were like, okay, what do we got next? Oh, it's this cotton stuff and it's candy. We don't know what to call it. Johnson's like, I was thinking maybe cotton candy. Yeah, cotton candy. Johnson, you're getting a raise. You're getting a raise. I'm like, wow. Our own government. Guess who named walkie-talkie? That's our government. Yeah, the ones that named the F-1 fighter jet plane. Those guys named walkie-talkie. What does it do? Well, you walk with it and you talk. So, walkie-talkie. Yeah, that's good. Atomic bomb was also a name that they've also came up with. I don't know how they came up with walkie-talkie, but they did. It happened. It definitely happened. And so that's a little crazy. Yeah, walkie-talkie. Our own government has come up with that. Wow, that's good. But here's one thing. I want y'all to know I love donuts. I love them. They have that little triangle of things you should be eating. I'd have donut at the top. Donut would be at the top. I know there's like no nutritional value except bread, but I'd get my bread in for the day. My bread would be in for the day. I'd make sure of that. I love donuts. It like makes me feel good about myself. Like I feel like Michelle Kwan, the ice skater, she's won. I don't even know what they win. Whatever they win, I've won that. I'm doing the last big, jump spin as I'm eating the last bite, and I'm a winner. I feel like a winner when I eat donuts. I love them, right? I love donuts. Not Twinkies, not anything else. Donuts are my thing. So I love donuts. I figured I'd just throw that in, maybe you need to be aware of that. I'd like you to be aware of my likes and dislikes. So there that is. Um, but also there's one thing too. Whenever you lose a dog, I don't know what it is. People think that you are just as sad about the dog being lost as they are, which we're not. They're out there 6 a.m., naming whatever the hell the dog's name is. You can't hear it. There's an echo, but they want you to be out there like, hey, what's the dog's name? Oh my God, let's find your dog. We don't care. So